Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this week's Learning Celebration Assembly with me, Mr. Woolcock. Slightly different environment again this week. I'm actually in the Mac Suite at school, which is really exciting. I've been in here on and off over the last few weeks trying to get things a bit tidier. Since we had the new carpet put in, we've had to get everything out of the Mac Suite and then gradually bring it back in again. So myself and Paul have been really quite busy trying to get everything back in here and looking nice and working well for when we come back in properly. So we've been doing lots of updates on the computers, we've been getting all of the Lego and stuff cleaned and organised, and we're making really good progress actually. It's really quite nice in here now, and I can't wait to invite you all back in here, hopefully quite soon. I hope you all had a really great week. There's been, again, some lovely learning shared via Showbie, and it's been really great seeing what everyone's been up to, and I can't wait to share that with you in a moment or two. We've also got some really exciting news that I'm going to share on behalf of Mr. Stanlake at the end of the assembly, and you're not going to want to miss it, so make sure you stick around and I'll give you all the details when we've had a look at some of the people learning. So let's start off, as we always do, by looking at some of the amazing learning shared in Year 3. First up, we have got Lily, and Lily has written a poem for us all about lockdown. Same as always, I'm going to put all of these up on the Penpol Times, so don't worry if you can't read it now when it's on your screen, it will be there to look at later as well. But Lily has started her poem like this. Lockdown for me has been lots of fun. I've spent more time with my dad and my mum. I've been to the beach and swam in the sea. My brother and sister have played with me. We've been out for walks all together, making the most of the glorious weather. I've done my schoolwork, not too much. An hour a day is quite enough. It's a really lovely poem, Lily, and it brought me great joy reading that earlier. So do check it out on the Penpol Times and have a good look at that. Lily, you've put a lot of effort into there, and you've rhymed some really great words together, so well done for that. Really lovely poem. Now, in Year 3 this week, they've been looking at measurements, and they've been making scales at home. So Ada here has made scales out of things she's found around her house, including a coat hanger. And you can see, look, she's labelled one pot A and one pot B. And she's trying to work out which objects are heavier in those scales. Great work, Ada, and a really good use of a coat hanger there, for sure. Alfie has been then taking this learning on weight and then making a recipe out of those weights. So he's been looking at making an apple crumble, and you can see here on his scales he's measured the apples, the flour, the oats, everything that you need to make your crumble. And in the bottom corner there you can see the finished product, which does look, Alfie, absolutely delicious. I hope you enjoyed your apple crumble. And then in Year 3, they've been making portraits out of fruit and vegetables. It's very creative, and there are some great pictures, so I'll show you a few of the submissions now. First up, we've got Jenna, and you can see Jenna here's got some lettuce and some bananas for her hair. She's got some great eyes there, and she's got some really nice like jewellery and necklace and stuff going on as well, made of tomatoes. Jenna, that's a really good use of fruit and veg to make that portrait, and I hope you had a really nice tasty meal out of it afterwards. Felix has done a great example here, and he's used rice as well for his skin. Just take a moment to have a look at all of the different things in that picture. There are so many different fruits and vegetables that you found, Felix. Really good stuff. Sabina has made an excellent one here as well, including some green beans, which I think is really good. And the eyebrows in particular really give your portrait some character, Sabina. I really like that. Well done, it makes me laugh. Now, the other thing Year 3s have been doing is they've been looking at printmaking. And they've been using things around the house to make prints. So one of the things they've done is they've taken an old toilet roll tube and they've cut the ends off. And you can see here it's made some flower-shaped prints in Imogen's artwork. Really simple to do, but really striking and amazing results. And perhaps something that you could try at home yourself. Kaio has then taken it to the next level. And Kaio's got a piece of what looks like lino. And he's made these lovely prints out of that piece of lino. So he's covered in ink or paint, and then put it on paper to make a multicoloured image. Kaio, that's absolutely lovely. And the best thing of making a print like that is that you can make lots and lots of them without having to draw it off every time. So that's really creative, Kaio, and thank you for sharing. And Amelie here has made a beautiful drawing of some foxgloves. This looks like it's out on King George's Walk to me, and you can see all the detail in those pictures there. Really lovely, realistic colours, and you can put a lot of time and effort into that, Amelie, and it really does show. Thank you for sharing. And Myla has done some printmaking as well. This is a dandelion, and I really love this example because, first of all, doesn't that white really pop off the page behind that blue? But also, it looks exactly like a dandelion. I look at that and you can see all the little detail, all those little fine bits around the edges, and I think, Myla, that's really lovely, so thank you for sharing. We're on to Year 4 now. Let's see what lovely learning's been happening in Class 9 and Class 10 this week. So first up we've got Chloe, and Chloe has written some instructional text about making a mat out of recycled plastic bags. So you can follow all the instructions online, but Chloe's basically explaining that if you get some plastic bags, some cardboard and some bin bags, you can then cut them down the sides, make one long strip, and then cut them to make a weaved mat. And the instructions here are really clear to follow. I reckon you could all give this a go. And if we look at our next piece of learning, which is from Dylan, you'll see at the top there he's drawn a diagram of what it should look like when it's finished. So if you've got any bags lying around, perhaps you've got a bag for life that's kind of broken so you can't put shopping in it anymore, you can recycle it and make something lovely out of that waste plastic. Now the other thing I've been noticing a lot of in Year 4 this week are information and fact sheets about different fish. So we've got a few selections here of different fish. Again, all of these will be online in the Penpol Times for you to look at, so make sure you check them out to learn lots about all of these fish. But first up we've got Remy, who's been looking at a clownfish. I'll choose maybe 2 facts from each of these sheets. So Remy's realised they live in sea anemones, and that they have a thick layer of mucus to protect them from predators. I didn't know that, Remy. That's taught me something, thank you for that. We've then got Ellie, and she's been looking at surgeonfish. So, a school of colourful surgeonfish looks like a magnificent moving rainbow in the ocean. What a lovely description that is, and you can imagine, can't you, this school of fish like a rainbow going through the sea. Outstanding patterns of rich shades of purples and blues, and a lovely picture there as well. You can see those purples and blues straight away, Ellie. Thank you for sharing. Connor's been looking at the butterfly fish. So 6 bright orange stripes on both sides of the fish, and the tiny spikes on top of the fish's head are there like a tiny piece of coral. Okay, so I guess perhaps it could camouflage itself by hiding and blending into the coral around it from predators. Really interesting, Connor. Ben's been looking at different fish as well, and let's have a look at the parrotfish at the top. So the parrotfish has got a beak which is sharp and as hard as diamond, apparently. I didn't know that, that's really interesting. And it's got a short, solid tail to power the fish through the water really, really quickly and efficiently. So that's really interesting about parrotfish, and do have a look at the cardinal fish as well. Now Emily has done more research on the butterfly fish. It is a close relative of the angelfish. I didn't know that either. And butterfly fish are also known for being incredibly loyal to their mates, and they'll partner up and stay together for life, which is a lovely thing to think about. I didn't know that fish did that perhaps, but that's really interesting, Emily. Thank you. Katie's been looking at the surgeonfish. Bright blue with blue stripes and a neon yellow tail. Really interesting. And they are suited to the coral reef because they are herbivores, so they can eat all the algae around the reefs. Really good, Katie, thank you. And Senan here has been looking again at the surgeonfish, and she's labelled all of the parts of the fish at the bottom there. So she's got the gills, the dorsal fin, the caudal fin, the lateral line, and the pectoral fin. I can't quite read that one, it's a bit small, but lots of different information there about the different fins and different parts of the fish. Thank you, Senan. Lastly, in Year 4, we've got a short video from Obi. Obi has invented this robot, and it is absolutely wonderful, so I'm going to share the video with you now.
This amazing safety guard is so amazing, and he is only 183 pounds. So why not buy him now? He's got an arrow, a knife, a bow, more arrows, and a scary head.
Obi then goes on to show other added features, including battle scars that you can get, and he's made a short advert basically showing that this can defend your home from people breaking in, which he then demonstrates by pretending to break into his own home and then find the robot and doing a very impressive scream. Obi, that is an amazing piece of learning, and I love watching it. It really made me laugh. We haven't got time to share it all now, but I really appreciate the effort that's been put into that, so well done. Here comes some learning from Year 5. So first up we've got Archie, and Archie has been looking at tigers. This is an amazing fact file here, an amazing presentation of learning, and you can see there are facts, pictures, maps, just about everything you want to know about this particular type of tiger. Now the Year 5s have been continuing their presentations from last week, and they've been sharing these with their classmates over Google Meet video chats, and they've been really, really lovely from what I've heard. We've got Reese here, and Reese has done a fact file on the black rhino. Again, you can read all of this online. I'm not going to read it too much now for you, but you can see Reese has marked down where in the world you can find the black rhinos, and he's got a lot of great research there. He's really put in a lot of time to researching the black rhino. Well done, Reese. This is some screenshots now from Sam's presentation on the black-footed ferret. So you got some little pictures there, and Sam said he chose this creature because he didn't know much about it, but he thought it was very cute and he wanted to learn some more. Sadly, there are only 350 of these in the wild, but Sam in his presentation gave some tips on how we can look after them and perhaps encourage more in the future. So that's a lovely piece of learning, Sam, and thank you for teaching me quite a lot about the black-footed ferret. William has been looking at the black rhino. He's got this lovely watercolour painting on the cover of his presentation, and then the presentation goes on for quite a few slides with lots of information in. I've chosen one here because it's quite an interesting fact about the black rhino, mainly that it's 1.5 metres high. That's really quite high, and it weighs 1.4 tonnes. Now, that's not as much as I thought it would weigh, and I wonder if perhaps it's one of the smaller types of rhino, so that's quite interesting. William, thank you for sharing that lovely learning. We've got Patrick now, and Patrick has done a presentation on the hawksbill turtle. Now, I hadn't heard of a hawksbill turtle before. I guess it's a particular species of turtle, but it's an amazing animal that Patrick didn't know much about either, so he wanted to learn some more. And that's what I love about these presentations. The children in Year 5 have picked an animal they don't know much about, and they've then gone out of their way to learn as much as they can to share with their classmates. And those Google Meet sessions have been so full of people sharing ideas, and that's been lovely to watch. Patrick, brilliant presentation, and well done as well. We then got Kiki, and Kiki has done this lovely page of an orangutan. And I just want to point out, first of all, the little drawing in the middle hanging onto the O from the orangutan. That is absolutely lovely, Kiki. I really like that. So we've got some really good facts here, one of her favourite animals, and some lovely pictures as well. Have a look on the Penpol Times. You can zoom in and read that writing much better than I can on my small iPad screen. Kiki, that's beautiful. Well done. Edie has invented a teapot, but it's a butterfly teapot. So this is really, really clever. Basically, it's the life cycle of a butterfly, but all of the parts are used as a teapot. So you've got in the top corner there, you've got the saucer, shaped like a caterpillar. The chrysalis are two mugs that stack. The actual teapot itself is the butterfly shape with the spout and the handle. And you can see at the end, look, they all stack up to make this lovely teapot. That is absolutely brilliant, and I can really imagine that perhaps people could actually make that in the future. Maybe Edie, you could make that in the future and then sell that for loads of money, because I think that's such an innovative idea, and I really enjoy looking at that. Thank you, Edie. Now, Tess has made this lovely 3D model of a blue whale. You've got the sea there, you've got the whale itself, and I really loved the plume of spurting water coming out the top of the whale's head. Really lovely, Tess, and I love the different shades of blue you've got for the water there. It really looks like the whale's just popping its head out of the ocean. Sol here has been looking at endangered leopards, and he's got some really, really lovely facts here again. So we've got a picture of a leopard just hanging out in a tree with the sunset in the background. Only 100 left in the world, so not many at all, Sol. And it makes us realise how important it is to protect these animals while they're in the wild. Really, really love that, and you put a lot of effort in, so well done, and thank you for sharing that with us. And we've got Ruben, and Ruben here has made a mixed media piece of art based on a Cornish chough and a Cornish mine engine house. And you can see here, look, you've got a lovely, possibly oil pastel background. I'm not sure if that is or not. And then you've got these clay models on top of it as well. Ruben, I love the colours in this. It's so vibrant and powerful. And I would have that as a piece of art on my wall, definitely. So well done for that, and thank you for sharing. Finally, we'll jump into Year 6 and see what learning they've been sharing this week. So first up, one of the activities based on the book they've been reading has been looking at Japanese-inspired art. Now, Japanese art takes lots of different forms, and there's lots of different types of art. I'll show you a few examples here, and first up is Summer. Summer's done this beautiful painting of a Japanese cherry blossom tree. Now, I'm sure you've seen pictures of cherry blossom trees, and they are always so colourful and so vibrant, and Summer's done a great job of capturing that with her pink paint and those thin black branches. Summer, this is absolutely lovely, and it really has a Japanese style feel to it, so well done for that. Harry has done a picture of a mountain, and we've got these lovely pastel colours, At first glance, I did wonder, is that a watermelon? But it's definitely not. It is a mountain. And you can see with the detail at the top there, all the snow coming down, and all the lava perhaps, or the ash. And it's a really, really lovely piece of work. And again, it has that Japanese feel to it with the colour palette and particularly the background that you've made there, Harry. I really like that. And Oscar has done a painting on the back of a shell. So I can imagine that was really fiddly to do on a very tiny shell, but it's absolutely beautiful. Again, you've gone for the cherry blossom and you've got all those colours, and you've got the little cherry blossom there drifting off on the wind as well, which is lovely, Oscar. Okay, class 13 this week, the children who've been in school have been making recycled bird feeders, and this is a picture Mrs. Danleg's made of lots of them put together for me. You can see from the picture lots of plastic bottles being reused, lots of wooden spoons, and lots of clever ways of making it accessible for birds. So hopefully we're going to have loads of birds now come to our wildlife garden at school to enjoy these feeders that you've made. So thank you, all the children in class 13 and class 14. Not only are they making them at home, at school, they're also making them at home as well, which is lovely to see. Imogen here has made a plant pot holder shaped like a monkey, and this is absolutely lovely, Imogen. So it looks like potentially a milk bottle, which has then been painted in this really effective way, because it does look like it's been around for hundreds of years. It looks like a piece of wood that's been weathered and then someone's painted it. And then you can put your plant pot inside there to make it look really, really nice and fashionable. I really like that, Imogen, and I think you can make them and sell them at a fete one year, because I think they'd be really popular with people. Now, moving on to their book, Kensuke's Kingdom, which they've been reading this term, Fifi has made a timeline of all the key events in the book. So if you haven't read the book, this might be a bit of a spoiler for you, so perhaps if you haven't read the book, don't look at this just yet. But if you have read the book, have a look and see if you can remember all of these events happening. Incredibly neat, Fifi, as well. I saw this and I was so impressed with how neat your lines are and your writing. You've put so much care into the presentation of that. I don't think I can make anything half that neat, even if I tried, so well done and thank you for sharing that with us. Now, Vinny has done some writing here, based on the format of a diary entry in Kensuke's diary. I felt the scorching sun on my face. I was ready for the day ahead. Straight away to the stream. I learnt this word today. I went. Really, really lovely diary writing, and it puts yourself in his shoes, and it puts yourself in that exact situation that Kensuke was in. I would definitely urge you to read this in the Penpol Times, because Vinny's done a great job with his descriptive writing and painting that picture of whereabouts in the world this is taking place. Now, Ethan has been doing some charts, and he's been looking at the temperature difference in Hale and in Tokyo. So the book is based in Japan, and so there's a big connection there between Japan and Cornwall at the moment, and this is a really interesting chart. So over the last week, the temperature in Hale, you can see, has been about 14 to 16 degrees, and it's been quite the same every day. There hasn't been a really hot day or a really cold day. In Japan, in Tokyo, you can see at the top there the temperature first of all is much higher. It's nearer the mid-20s every day. But you can also see on Friday they had a slightly colder day. So I really like that Ethan's gone and found this data, he's researched it, and then he's made a really effective and powerful line graph there to show that data in an illustrated way. Well done, Ethan. Lola has also made a line graph, but this time she's been looking at plastic. So the amount of plastic produced in the green there, and the amount of plastic recycled in red. Now, if you look at the bottom, it talks about over the course of many, many years. So if you look back in 1989, and then compare that with 2019, the amount of plastic being recycled has more than doubled, which is amazing to see. And you can see it's catching up now with the amount of plastic produced. So I would hope that perhaps in another 10 or so years, that would get even closer. And that's a really powerful way of looking at that data and seeing how it's changed over time. So that's really great, Lola, thank you. Okay, so that's a quick look at some of the learning on Showbie this week. I say it every week, but I really could choose so many things to share. It's such a hard job picking out just a few each week, so I'm really sorry if your learning wasn't on there this week, but I'm trying my hardest to include as many different people as I can every week. Next up, I want to talk to you very quickly about the competition I set you last week, which was to invent your dream meal. Now, we had a few different entries for this, and I want to share a couple of them with you now. So first up, we've got Corey. And Corey here has designed what looks initially like a very simple meal, but actually it sounds delicious. So Corey has called this sushi wrapped in noodles. And the idea is you have sushi rice with a cucumber and salmon centre, wrapped in chicken flavour super noodles. I think that's a great idea, Corey, and I reckon that would be really, really tasty. We've then got one from Abby, and Abby has created her dream meal called banana pancakes. So you've got 2 bananas, you squash them in a bowl really well, add 2 eggs, mix them up, pour onto the pan with some flour, and then toss it like a pancake. Sounds absolutely delicious, and Abby said she's going to try and make these this week as well, so hopefully they'll be really tasty for you, Abby, at home. Oliver has made the everything sandwich. Now this looks absolutely massive. I don't know how you could possibly fit this in your tummy, but there are some really interesting ingredients there. We've got everything from Lindor chocolates and Ferrero Rocher to roast chicken, belly pork, crispy bacon, ham, apple pies, cheesecake, pretty much everything you can imagine, all in one go. That sounds like it would probably feed you for about a week, Oliver, and how imaginative is that? Thank you for sharing. And lastly, I'm going to include this one, and this is from Ben. Ben has not only imagined his dream meal, he's gone and made it. And let me talk you through what Ben's all-day baguette involves. It starts off with breakfast, chocolate granola. Then there's a banana for a snack. At lunchtime, he's got ham and coleslaw baguette with crisps in the bag. And then he's got a yogurt snack as well. For dinner, there's a beef burger with new potatoes. And of course, you need dessert as well. There's strawberries and cream at the end. Now, I don't know if Ben would sit down and eat this all in one go, or if perhaps you would have it and then come back to it over the course of a day. But either way, it's very, very creative, and it really made me smile seeing that in real life, and hoping you had a lot of fun making that, Ben. Thank you for sharing. Okay, this week for the Showbie challenge, I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball out there. Every week, I try and think of a new challenge for you, and it's really tricky to try and find one that everyone wants to do. So, your challenge this week is to pick a challenge for me to share with you next week. So I want you to think a little bit about what challenges might be really fun to do. And on Showbie, you're going to send me your ideas for challenges in the normal assembly group. You don't have to do the challenge. Not this week. This week is about you getting ideas to me. And I've chosen that because it shouldn't take you too much time. And that means you can hopefully spend more time on Miss Holcroft's English challenge, which finishes next Friday. So if you haven't finished your diving giraffe piece of writing yet, you've got 1 week to do that, and I know Miss Holcroft would love to see all of your entries. One last thing for me today, and it's really exciting. Next week, starting on Monday, is the Penpol School Games. This happens every year, but obviously it's a bit different this year. So this year, it's virtual. It's being done online. Now imagine this a bit like the Olympics, but for school children. And the idea is every school in Cornwall can invite their pupils to take part. Mr. Sandlake spent time this morning explaining to me how this all works, and I'm going to put all of the documents up on the remote learning website at the weekend, so you can find it on Monday morning. Basically, every day there are some challenges. Some days it might be a gymnastics challenge or a dance challenge. Some day it might be a bowling challenge. Some days it might be running and jumping. It's a variety every day. But the idea is you take part in the challenges, and at the end of the day, an adult in your house can click on the link and submit your score to the Penpol School Games website. This will help our school because the more points that we get, the more prizes the school will get. I'm not sure what the prizes are, but Mr. Sandlake said they're very exciting. He's very excited about it. You also get bonus points if you do it in fancy dress, if you get a family member to join in, or if you involve your teacher in some way through Showbie. So definitely check this out, get loads of points for the school, and have some fun being active as well. It's open to everyone. You haven't got to be really sporty to take part. Anyone can enjoy this. And like I said, you can bring your whole family involved as well. So that will be on the remote learning website and on Showbie, and it will probably be there on Monday morning for you. It may be there a bit earlier at the weekend, but it will definitely be there by Monday morning. Okay, I need to go back to tying up the Max Week this afternoon now. I've got a lot more to do in here, but it has been lovely talking to you. I hope you enjoyed today's Learning Celebration Assembly, and I will see you all same time, same place, next Friday. See you later.